ready now.
A perfect combination of technology, narrative, and mechanics is something of a rarity in gaming, but a beautiful sight when it happens. Many attempt this, some with more success than others, but few have come close to the majesty of Metal Gear Solid. Kojima's PlayStation continuation of a series which established his auteur brand of development is a masterclass on almost all counts. The stealth was some of the tightest the genre has ever seen. Kojima's storytelling would break down the supposed limitations of the time, and the sheer thrill of discovering all of Metal Gear Solid's intricacies remains one of gaming's greatest pleasures. As an Alaskan base is taken over by terrorists while capturing two high-ranking officials, Solid Snake is sent in on a one-man rescue mission, ripped from his retirement in the region. Things soon escalate, as a group of 6 very different, yet equally sadistic, specialist soldiers, led by Liquid Snake, complicate the mission further. Though some early PlayStation titles, such as Blood Omen, were story-driven, few were as cinematically involved as Metal Gear Solid. And while the thread can become somewhat tangled at points, outstanding cutscene direction, excellent use of cinematic techniques such as slow motion, and superb voice work, especially for the time, helped define Kojima's effort as one of the most important and satisfying narratives around the late 90s. With twists to spare, too many memorable moments to count, and a roster of satisfying, deep characters, and it's all superb.
Thanks for the help.
Wait! Who are you?
As you sneak into the Alaskan base, you'll quickly see why Metal Gear Solid's brand of stealth holds up. On a basic level, Snake controls well, and the inventory management makes swapping between equipment a breeze. Unlike many modern stealth games, clear and fair rules are set. Your Soliton radar marks enemies on the map, with a clear cone of vision that you must avoid lest you prefer detection. This makes detection always fair, with less random spotting out of nowhere. But that's not to say that the stealth is easy. There are plentiful guard patrols, environmental quirks such as cameras and noisy grating prove difficult to navigate, and the harsh penalty for detection often sees you becoming swarmed quickly. Combat works well enough, but often it is easier to try and stay undetected than pick a fight. It's challenging, but fair, rewarding patient players who take their time and utilise all their arsenal, surroundings, and study the layout of each sequence. The freedom of play is what gives Metal Gear Solid its immense longevity. Though playthroughs often hang around the 10-hour mark, there's a lot of malleable elements which require keen eyes to spot. Weapons, be it the SOCOM pistol, FAMAS assault rifle, or deployable explosives like claymores, can be acquired at different times, altering the game slightly, such as your first encounter with Meryl should you forget to collect the first pistol. Some situations offer multiple approaches, such as the opening, with 3 different entry points and varied cutscenes depending on your choice. Then there's the plethora of experimental moments, sometimes requiring you to think outside the box a bit, such as a certain sequence involving wolves urinating on your cardboard box, allowing for clear passage through their lair on return visits. These sort of quirks really add up, enticing you to return for multiple playthroughs to see them all. And this doesn't factor in extras such as unlockable cheats, VR training, and 2 harder difficulties which test you to the max.
Right. Touch that wire, and the C4 will blow up along with the old man. So you're the one that the boss keeps talking about.
And you?
Special Operations Foxhound. Revolver Ocelot.
Bosses in video games from around the time of Metal Gear Solid's release could prove a real test of gamers' sanity, often testing players in all the wrong ways, leading to frustration. But Kojima's approach to bosses here is simply sublime. As you endure multiple encounters with members of the Foxhound unit, each one feels singular and different to the last, testing your combat abilities and cunning. Sniper Wolf's 2 fights test your long-range skills, though you can cheat the second fight using the Nikita guided rocket launcher. An encounter with Grey Fox in a tight office space forces you to disarm yourself, and Vulcan Raven proves a tense game of cat and mouse, as you're forced to rely on planted explosives. But the clear highlight is Psycho Mantis, the 4th wall-breaking icon. Whether he's reading your memory card, chastising your frequent saves, or forcing you to swap controller ports in order to break his mind-reading powers, it remains one of the best bosses you'll find from this generation. A couple do come off as frustrating at points, but for the most part, bosses are equal parts memorable and enjoyable.
You're pretty good. Just what I'd expect from the man with the same code as the boss. It's been a long time since I had such a good fight, but I'm just getting warmed up. What? My hand!
Metal Gear Solid is a beautiful experience spread across 2 discs. The fully 3D environments look great, with neat tricks such as reflections, particle effects, and lighting tricks adding depth. Cutscene direction remains a treat, with distinctive animations accurately reflecting the emotion of dialogue. The engine also avoids some of the perils that befell a lot of games from this console, such as frame rate troubles and fogging. Unfortunately, one of the more noticeable parts of this one is the character models. They lack facial animations and can come off as a bit odd looking, with weird limb shapes and lackluster facial detail. The sound fires on all cylinders. The outstanding voice work, be it David Hayter's gruff turn as Snake, or Jennifer Hale's complex portrayal of Naomi Hunter, everyone delivers in spades. The dialogue lacks the awkward or stiff reads and translations of competing games of the time, and cutscenes tell a story compared to games which just use them to change the scenery. The music score is top notch, from the memorable theme to the dueling track which accompanies boss fights, and the effects are crisp and notable, with some becoming reused again in subsequent games. Metal Gear Solid earns its place among the pantheon of iconic games, with a combination of outstanding gameplay, narrative weight uncommon for the time, and immense layers of gameplay to uncover. The stealth never buckles thanks to its strict yet fair rules. The cavalcade of memorable story moments beg to be experienced, and the rogues gallery of bosses range from memorable to magnificent. It's one of those games which you can uncover a new secret on every playthrough, and although there are some minor issues, such as some frustrating segments, especially a certain keycard sequence, even the greatest masterpiece has flaws.
Now, make me feel it. Make me feel alive again. Good. Now we can fight this
weapons of all combat. Only a fool trusts his life to a weapon.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed my review. Metal Gear Solid is a special game to me, as it was the first game which really restarted my passion for PlayStation 1 and retro games. If it were not for this game in 2014, and my appreciation of its immense qualities, I probably wouldn't be so avid a collector and reviewer of games from this era. It's been great fun making video reviews, and 100 is just the beginning, as I plan to continue my weekly coverage of games, old and new, good and bad, but most importantly, in context.